welcome to Demolition 22. So, I'm sorry that I really haven't made a video in a long time, but this is all changed because we've gotten our forge going. So, I have actually been able to work on this forge for a long time, and for probably 2 or 3 months. We've had the forge going, but I've just kind of taken this time just to get going and kind of learn some skills so I don't look like an idiot in the shop. But I've already made a couple of different things, and I'll show you those in soon, but yep. So I'm back, and I'll be making videos. So please stay tuned. I'm out here in our blacksmith era, so I'll just give you a brief kind of view. So we have a lot of cool things. We've built ourselves a big work table, and I also have found myself a good touch mark that I created. So I'm going to show you all the stuff. I've made a couple of things, and I'll show you those before, basically after. And so here we go. This is a work table. Sorry, it's very messy, but it is a good 4 inches and 4.5 inches thick, and so it's a good thick table. And if you'll see on there, that is my touch mark. It's called the broken rectangle, and the reason I use it is because when I was younger, I was using a backpack blower and I got burned. I don't know if you could see that. See kind of that rectangle, but that's on my arm, and that's kind of what I based it off of. But that's our work table. Half of it is connected to our Conex container, and the other half is supported by these big cedar posts that we actually milled with our own sawmill that we have. But we have this big post vise that we got. We actually have 2 of these. We just have not built a stand for the other one. This one's going to be attached to the table like how it is. We're going to have one basically on its own little pod so we can move it around and do what we need. Then we have a coal forge here. The other part of it is over there, but we have not got this up and running because it's really hard to find coal in northern Nevada. We have our main table, and here's our propane forge. It is around a 5 to 10 psi propane forge. It is, as you can see, it is fairly big, and you can stick quite big of material. And if you need it even bigger, you can open up this door, which is really cool. So that's what we have for a forge right now. We usually run it off that big one, but right now we ran out, so we're running them off the little tiny 20-pound, I'm pretty sure they are. So then we have the tong rack. I fabbed this up just real quickly one day. It isn't the nicest, as you can see from the welds, but it serves really well. It holds our tongs, and we have these was my first pair of tongs I ever made, and I'll be making a video soon about making tongs. We got these from an antique store for $15, and then we got this pair of multi-blary tongs. This pair of tongs, these are hammer tongs for making hammers, and this pair of bolt tongs for $130 off of Blacksmith Depot. So if you'd go check them out, I'll leave them in the description. But I also made these. These were my first hammer making tongs I made, and these were a failed pair of tongs. But that's what we have for tongs right now. We are going to be ordering and making more. So we have our little piece of railroad track, or it's actually more like model track. If you go to some fair park where they have a little tiny train, then that's what they use. And then we have our anvil. This is a peterite, and this was actually made in the early 1900s. As you can see right there, 26. That indicates as 126 pounds. We have it spiked down onto this stump, and it is quite sturdy on there. So, and that's basically what we have. Here's the stockpiling of all the metal that we've been able to collect. We've gotten like 40 railroad spikes. We used 4 on putting the anvil on. I've actually used a couple to make a couple of projects. And just all the other different steel, like lead springs. This lead spring here is going to be part of a future video. And what I'm going to make is a power hammer. And if you don't know what that is, just search it up, power hammer or blacksmith's power hammer on the web, and you'll get a good view of that. And actually, I'll just slide one over real quick. So there's a power hammer. So that's all of our stocked up stuff. And these are all the hammers. And so far what we've made is we've put a new handle on this. We found this punch actually. And then I and me and my dad, we both made this. This is a fuller, part of what we're been working on. We're going to make a handle fuller, which we've made. And we actually made this handle out of a piece of ash. We carved it out of, I guess you would say, a piece of firewood. But yeah, that's all of the hammers that we have. We made this rack out of reclaimed lumber, out of one of our horse paddocks we tore down. So that's pretty cool. That's it for really, as I said, that's really what we have for a blacksmith shop right now. We'll be adding and getting more as we grow and we increase our skill. So here are the projects that we have made and are working on. This is a punch, just kind of like this one, but bigger, so we can do bigger holes and do bigger like hammer heads. And then I made this Bowie knife out of a file like this. As you can see, about same width, and cut it off right there because these little things do not work well for the tang. But this was my first ever real knife I ever made, so as you can see, my scales are not lined up very well. But for my very first knife I've ever made, I'd say it actually is pretty cool. And then I made this knife, and it is actually pretty good. Got a little bit of marking, but it's a overall pretty good tempered knife that I made. And this was made out of coil spring, which, where do I have some? Right here. Which first looks like this, and this is coiled up usually in a spring. I've just straightened it out, but this is usually coiled up in the spring, and it's actually part of cars. But I have to be replaced every couple of years. But so I made that knife out of this, and this was basically just a test to make sure that I could actually make a pretty good knife out of it and temper it properly. And this was, I had to temper this thing probably 2 or 3 times just to get it right. But then this was what I made for my final project. Let's get into some better light. So this is a dagger, I guess people would call it. It's not exactly a dagger, but this handle is also made out of the same material as the handle on that fuller. It is ash that I carved. This is some curly maple. And then the dagger, blade is actually made out of the coil spring like I was showing. And this was the first time that I had a successful touch mark put in it. So as you can see there, that is my touch mark. And as I get better at making blacksmithing stuff and smithing, I will start selling stuff. So leave down in the comments below of what you would like to see me make, and I will sell it also if you think it's good enough. So leave ideas down in the comments below of what you want me to smith out. That's really all for this video, and I really enjoy that you guys are still here and watching. And I will be making more videos now because I have a steady stream. There's no end to the stuff that we can make in blacksmithing. So just leave ideas down in the comments of what you want me to make, because there's so many ideas and so many things, so many different knives, so many different swords, so many different tools that I can make. It just is almost overwhelming. I mean, it's just so much stuff that I can make. And so please leave those in the comments below, and I will start using those ideas. And thank you for who are still watching my channel, and I hope we can grow to be more. So next video, I'm going to be showing you how to turn a railroad spike like this into a tomahawk. And if you don't know what a tomahawk is, I will show you. So here, I'll show you. So that's what a tomahawk is. And we'll be turning this railroad spike into that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And our next set of videos will be a couple parts, probably 4 parts, I bet. So yeah, we'll do that, and we will see this turn into a tomahawk. Thank you so much for watching Demolition 22, and I'll see you in the next video.
American girls and American guys will always stand up and salute.